Welcome to my school accounting management software, a product of SmartDrive software. This presentation is done by my name is Evan Zuko. I'm the business development manager for SmartDrive and Systems. Do you own a school? Do you manage a school? How do you run the school accounting in your school? Most people are confused between school portal and school accounting software. My accounting, my school accounting software was specifically designed to help school administrators manage accounting from end to end. My school accounting software was designed and developed to help school manage students' account from entry point to graduation. Okay, it keeps track of school fees payment and outstanding school fee payment per term. So within the my school accounting software, we have two versions. We have an online version, and we also have a local school server installation version, which any of the ones you buy, we can actually install for you. Now, what are the benefits that you get in the cloud installation plan? This is what we have for you in cloud installation plan. You'll be able to get a free installation on a cloud server. You don't need to pay for it. School does not need to pay for SSL encryption. Encryption is free. We'll pay for that and install your software for you. The encryption is there to protect your data on internet and strengthen your data privacy. This means school data on internet can be accessed only by authorized persons. Our cloud server is backup 24 by 7. Therefore, clients are not expected to pay extra for backup. Okay. We provide support 24 by 7 to our clients. They do not need to pay for extra support. Okay. When you buy application, you have to pay for maintenance and support. So you wouldn't have to pay for our online installation because what we're basically doing, we're just creating a space for you on our cloud server and install your application. School management software is available 24 by 7 so that the owners of school and school administrator can manage the school on daily basis. Okay. Cloud installation affords school managers to manage the school while we then take care of the IT accounting package and IT infrastructure to ensure service availability 24 by 7. Okay. We have a central support system in Lagos, Nigeria, so you don't need to pay for maintenance and support. These are all the benefit that you get that we don't charge for. Okay, all that you do is that you just pay a monthly subscription to us. Now, these are discounts that we are currently offering. If you get into the window of these discount right now, we're offering that discount right now. Um, We're charging currently now, we used to charge 10,000 naira now because of demand and rise in dollar in Nigeria. This has gone to 15,000 naira per month, okay? But this month, we're actually offering 10% discount for school that is above 300 students and 20% to schools that are less than 200 students and 30% to schools that are less than 100 students. So depending on your school population, you'll be able to get a discount from us at this moment. But when it goes beyond this month, you will not be able to get this discount again. With our cloud accounting package, with our cloud accounting package in the cloud, you do not need to worry about power outages. Okay, so you don't need to necessarily, get worried about power in places and countries like Nigeria where power availability is a big problem. Our server is guaranteed 99.9% availability. Okay, because it's in the cloud, we're paying for it as a company. And then we have a service level agreement with the hosting company. Ever since we started for 7 years now, our services run averagely 99.9% service availability. We can guarantee you that. Okay. Now let's look at the cost in case you're interested about local installation where you actually buy the software from us. client will have to pay for us to visit the school. If you want us to come and install in your school, you have to pay. They would pay. They would provide us with server to do the installation, and then we will give them a list of software they buy and install so that we can, install for them. Every time they need support that we are not able to support remotely, they need to pay for us, to get to school in order to provide that support. They will need to do backup on their own. Okay, we've tried this before, only to realize that the system we're trying to support remotely had a disk failure. So in situations like that, we then need to visit the school. Okay, and besides that, a school also runs a local area network. We might need to be sure of um, the efficiency of the school local area network, because the application has approval process, where the account department or account clerk will raise a certain request for the principal or the school manager to approve. So that is also done within the network. They would need to pay for SSL encryption, okay, for their network. So in order to avoid data leakages. My school accounting software access. We actually have four level of accesses. We have administrator access, we have school manager access, we have cashier or account clerk access, and then we have staff access. Okay, I'll show you how this works in a short while. Okay, so if you want to get into this application, you then have to go to mypowersoft.com and then you just click on my school accounting software and business software. That will take you to a logon page. All right. So once you log on, you have a logon page here. You put your email and your password. You should be able to go in. Okay, let's actually do a review of part one. We're going to take this series of tutorial in parts. Okay, so this is part one of this presentation. Okay, so we're basically going to look at students and parents information. Okay, we want to see how to create student information, how to teach you how to create family accounts, how to show you how you can update information, create classes, assign student to a class. How can you assign student to a class, define a school session, and define a school term, define school fee discounts, and then see how you can update fee schedule. Okay, generate and update fee schedule, and of course you define the bank. So let's quickly take this first part of our tutorial. Let's hop into the system and then I run you through a few tutorials and show you how you can actually do this. Like I told you before, you need to go to mypowersoft.com and then you click on school accounting software. This will take you to a logon page. Let me quickly demonstrate the different accesses that we have. Okay, if you log into this account using this account, so you see you have access to all the buttons here. Okay, this is divided into two. We have what we call daily business analyzer. We're not interested in this at this moment. What we're actually selling to school are the school management software. So the school management software are the modules that you're seeing here. Okay, so what are the big ticket items here? Students information and everything about students, their parents. Okay, this is a module which I actually want to run a demo, talk about school session, basic definition. This can only be done by administrator. Meanwhile, this account I log on, this is administrator account. So up here you see administrator menu, all right? And then you see the school definition. This is where we do basic definition for school. And then assigned field template. Okay, once we define the template here for fee, invoice template, we'll then begin to assign this fee template to a school. We can define it to, we can assign it to a class. What that means is that if you say SS1 and you design a fee template for them, everyone in SS1 can be applied on that template. You don't need to do it one by one. So you can do it for a group of people and then you can apply that to an individual. Okay. All right. So you can, down here, we talk about invoices and how we receive payment. And the rest of this is how to manage debt that are generated in school. And finally, if you define for a school session, once you define, um, um, once we're able to define invoice for that session, the system will generate what the projected income should be. Okay, so that's what we'll try to see here. All right, so this is admin access. Let's even see other accesses, because I mentioned that we have 4 accesses in this system. Let's see. Let's log on with this. I think this is a staff only access. Let's see if you are given this level of access, what and what can you see? Okay, so you see a number of things are graded out here. It's only once you have staff menu, staff access, this is you only can search for students' information. You can't do business definition, you cannot do school definition, you can't define things in this portal. And then you can view school fee schedule and a schedule that is being assigned to a class. You can view invoice, you can print invoice as well, you can view group invoice, you can print invoice, you can view payment, okay, and print receipt, okay, for students. You can view payment for each class. Again, this is important for staff, teachers that might want to see how many people in their class have made payment, so they will only be given staff access. They won't go beyond here. Okay, but for the purposes of this training, this tutorial, let's go back and have a full access so I can take you through each of the module one by one in part 1. Okay, okay, so let's see. The other thing before we leave this screen, if you can actually click here, change password, and change your password once you go into the system. And anytime you can change your password. Let me log out and use an account that will give me full access so that we can quickly run you through each of the module and teach you how to enter data into the system. Okay? Okay, so let's go ahead. You can see how fast the system is. This is running from a server, and a server is running, at full capacity. Okay, we have a cloud server is running. It runs at the speed of light. Okay, I'm in Lagos, Nigeria, and you can imagine the speed at which you're running. So the first thing, let's look at the student module. The first thing is to search for student. This button is when you are looking for a student, okay? So let's look for a student. And the good thing about looking for a student, you can actually look for a student based on name. If you don't know the name, or you know the first 3 letters of the word, you can do. For instance, if I put letter A and search, and when I conduct this search now, you see you have all the information about the students, okay? So again, what's important is that, for instance, if I then, so I'm looking for Abraham, I'm looking for Mary Bassi, okay? And then I could actually copy this name, copy the phone number. We always advise that please, some people will say that the students do not have phone numbers. You can use either the father or the mother's phone number as the student's phone number, okay? But when it's not available, you just put nil. That's why you find some columns that are left nil here, okay? All right, so now that I've seen the person I'm looking for, I copy the phone number and run search. So that gives me, I got the quick information about Mary Bassi. That's the student's name, okay? This is the date of birth. Okay, I'll talk about that in a while. And then let's search again for another student. I have Miriam here. So I could also copy Miriam number. Oh, sorry. All right. So this Miriam's number, I could search for Miriam now because I want to bring very specific detail about the student I'm looking for. All right. So this is Miriam's detail. If I open here, I'll be able to have her name and I can check which class, get more information about that. Okay. So I see here, you can quickly have a quick view, a quick step to get the full detail about the students. Okay. So this is Mariam Mokhtar. Please let me do a disclaimer here. All these names that you find here is just for test purposes. If coincidentally coincide with your name, we have no intention. These names are picked arbitrarily. We just put names as it comes to our head for the purposes of these for this training. Okay, so I see that she's in senior secondary school, and I see that she is in SS2 and she's an active. She hasn't left the school yet. Account has not been disabled. Okay, so that's how you can use the search information. Now, the next thing you want to do is to see how to create and update students' information. You click on create and update. You then type the student's surname, the first name, the date of birth. You select a calendar here. So you have a date of birth. Just select when the child was born. And when you select this calendar, you can click on this March and you can click on the year. For instance, if it is the child was born in 2009, you can scroll back here and look for 2009. Okay, and so which month was the child born? Maybe in September, and maybe born on 16. So I've selected, that's how to select the date of birth very quickly. Okay, so you don't have to scroll for a long time. You put the phone number. Sometimes if you don't have the phone number, put the phone number of the parents if the child does not have a phone, which is expected. Okay, because we parents don't buy a children phone at a certain age. So put the child email. If it's not there, put the parents email here. It all helps so that when you send a mail to this child, or student result is being sent, it will send to the parent. Okay, but where a child has all this information, please provide. Okay, another thing I like to talk about is admission date. At what was the admission date? How was this child admitted? Admission session. So you pick which session was the child admitted. Is it 2021 academic session? Okay, so you pick that session. And then the school term. What term did this child, was admitted? Was it in first term, second term, or third term? You need to specify that information. Okay, and then the admission number. Okay, school has admission. Um, Sorry, the system will generate you. Sorry, okay, yeah, you put the admission number. When schools do admission, they have admission number. Please enter the admission here with special character like slash. The system will admit it, okay? And then the school can provide a registration number for people. But look at identity number here. When you register a student, the system will automatically generate and then a number here for you. Immediately you click add new student. You'll be able to have, okay? And then if you want to update students' information, you just type maybe, let's say Mary. You want to update information about Mary for students already in the system. Okay, so here you'll be able to see all the Mary in the system. I'm looking for Mary Bassi. Bassi is wrongly spelled here for the purposes of this training. And then up we go. So I have the full detail of Mary Bassi. But we notice that Bassi, the surname, is not properly spelled. So, and of course, this has changed to our update session. This is the identity number that the system will generate. The idea is that if a school had admitted 50 people in a batch, the system will want to keep track of those 50 people, okay, in that batch that was generated, and all of them will have number serially. None will miss, okay. Now, so let me update this. Bassey is spelled Bassey, and then I say update. So if you notice now, the system has been updated and you have student information was successfully updated, okay? You can actually click delete here and delete this information because we're in the full mode, all right? So that's how to provide student information and actually update the information. Next thing we want to talk about is to update parents' information. The same thing that we just showed to you, come here, provide this information, but more importantly, you can type, these are sample names that we put Abraham Kunle family. If the father's name is Dr. Abraham Kunle, you use that as a family name and say Dr. Abraham Kunle, okay? And then once you do that, you can then provide the father's details here, provide the mother's detail here, and for guardian here, you can provide Neil, you can type Neil, okay? You can type Neil. For any box you don't have information, please just type Neil, okay? And then you click save. And then the same thing, you come here, let's look for Kunle, or okay, Kunle, right? Or I could type KUN for the first four letters, and then the system will pop up in the result here. Okay, so I have Kunle family here, and then the information is pop up. For instance, if the phone number was wrong, this is not 8, it's 9, I could now say update. I've actually updated that information. Check the number now, it's been updated. So that's how to put parents' information, okay? And then we move to the next one. Once you have created parent information, we have a situation in school where we have one father has 2 or 3 children in the school and he's the one paying the fees, okay? For the purposes of letting the father to know the total fee that he has to pay for his 3 children or 2 children or 5 children in the school, or maybe a guardian that is paying for 2, 3 people, more than one person. So you can actually bring the family name here, Kunle. All right. So I can look for that Kunle family again, and then I say go. The system gives me this name. I can then begin to look for student Mary. Mary is also being. This is also one of the child that is being sponsored by Kunle. Okay, so I select Mary here. Okay, so you have Mary Bassi now. What I can do now is to say link student to the family. So you see this family is linked now. If I want to link another student for this family, I've linked Mary Bassi to Kunle family. I can also link another person. Let's type A so that I can have more students' name for this demonstration. So I have Bonnie Mark, and I can now click as a link to this family. You see, so now one family, you are linking more people. Okay, so when we create invoice for these people, we'll then forward to Dr. Kunle Abraham, who is a parent or guardian for these people. You can even add the third person. Okay, if for instance Dr. Kunle had 3 children, okay, so you open here and maybe you take Miriam and you say link. Okay, so I've linked. So that's how to create links between parents or guardian and the people in school. Okay. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is to create staff information. Let's do this quickly because we are fast approaching the end of part 1. Okay, so every staff in the system already define different staffs with different role. Okay, we can add more cashier, admin staff, driver, teacher, principal, proprietor. This software also can be used for tertiary institution. You can put the vice chancellor, you can put the buzzer, because it's actually a collection system for schools. Okay, so it's not only secondary school, it can be a tertiary institution. Polytechnics can also use this as a means of collecting school fee from students. Okay, so you put all the staff detail, and more importantly, because we recognize that each staff, we will want to know the date of birth. Okay, so we know the age of each of our staff, and of course the date of appointment to school. Again, if you're going to run a payroll system, then this will be required. The age and of course the date of appointment, okay, will be required. These are necessary information that will be required if you're running a payroll from this system, okay, for your staff. Again, you can also use the same method. Type the name of a staff here. Maybe let me use letter A here, and then you can, we have 2 staff we'll define here. Then say go. The system show me that this role here has changed to teacher. This is a teacher. Okay, so this is all his information, where he lives, his email address, his phone number. This is the date of his birth. This teacher was born in 1997, and of course was admitted into school. Get a letter of appointment as a teacher on February 3rd, 2021. Please note our date system here is month, day, and year. Okay, so I can actually update information about this teacher as well. Maybe this is 4, you say update. Okay, that has automatically been updated. If it's changed now, it's 904, not what we had before. So that's how to update the staff information and enter a new staff information. Okay, so if you wanted to put a staff information, I forgot to mention that you click again on create and update fast staff information. You select and put this and say add new staff. That will be added to the staff information. All right. So the next thing we want to do is to view students that are assigned to a class. Okay. So here, this is where you assign student before you view. Okay. But you can actually view students that were assigned to a particular class. Okay. So you click here, and then you pick academic year 2020-21 academic section. Once you pick, you see it's written in full here for you, 2020-21 academic section, and then you can pick a senior school, all right, or any of the school. See, this is a senior school, all right, and then the SS2, and then we can view students in that class. So we have 4 students that have been defined in that class. These are the names of the student. I can make this a little bit bigger for you to see. Okay, I'm just enlarging my screen by doing control, and you move your scroll on your mouse. Then that will either increase your screen or decrease your screen. That's what I just did. Okay, look at what I did here. So if you want to, so just to make sure that you have a proper view. Okay, so these are the students we have in SS2. You can see the class here. You can see Abraham Kunle, Bonnie Mark, Miriam, and then Usman. They're all in SS2, they're in the same class. And then the total number of students in this class, there are 4. Okay, so you can actually do a view. But how do you then put students in this class? Let's see how you can do that very quickly before we end this first part. Okay, you notice that my screen is enlarged now so you can see properly. Assign student to a class. So it doesn't really matter. You can admit people at any time, okay? And you can admit people anytime and you can assign them to a class. So these are the teachers, 2 teachers will define, and I just show you how to define teachers. So if you pick Idris Babangida, okay, and then you pick a session that we are, and then you select the school that Idris is teaching, okay, maybe a junior school, and then you can then JS1, you can then come and look for the student's name that you want to assign. Okay, type the first 3 letter or the first 4 letter of the student's name. Once you see the student, you pick the student and say, you click on assign. Okay, assign a student. Okay, so you can assign a student to a class, but the system will not allow you to assign a student or a student that you find a student in this class and you find a student. These are some inbuilt functions we're building so you don't do that mistake. Otherwise, some people will sit down and they want you see a student in JS1, the same student in JS2. Okay, so that has been taken care of by script. All right, so that's the end of part 1. In part 2, we'll show you how to do this definition and then see how you can create template. And then in part 3, we'll talk to you about how to create invoice, how to receive payment, and then check people that are owing. Thank you so much. That's the end of part 1. Okay, so let's quickly. So in case you need this application, you want to buy this application, these are contacts that you can use to get in touch with us, and then we'll sell this application to you. You subscribe to the application on internet, and then you'll be able to use the application. Thank you for staying on with me. Please look for School Accounting Software Part 2. This is Part 1 that we have just gone through. Thank you so much for being with me. Please look for part 2, okay?